CBS 6 News starts now.
Good evening. A giant fireball lighting up the night sky. You see it right here, right there. You see it. We have extensive team coverage today about the Maple Avenue bridge explosion yesterday in Glenville involving a truck carrying compressed natural gas that tried to drive through but was too tall for that bridge there. Our Tom Eshin and Ashley Kusakaki are standing by live with what officials are saying tonight, and we have reaction from witnesses as well. We begin tonight with Tom live at the Maple Avenue bridge. Tom, I know you heard from the state DOT today. What are they saying and what's new there at the bridge tonight?
Well, Greg, we'll start with the DOT. They said bridge strikes are 100% preventable. Well, we talked to a lot of neighbors today, as you might imagine, in this area, in this neighborhood. They say bridge strikes haven't been prevented for decades at this point. So tonight we're asking officials how they're going to get to that 100% prevention moving forward. A fiery scene on Maple Ave on Thursday, a shocking event where thankfully no one was more seriously hurt. Now, after years of collisions, residents and officials are pushing for action.
You know, all sorts of warning signs and all sorts of things have been put in place, but it doesn't appear to be having the effect that we want. We even had a week-long awareness campaign.
Assemblyman Angelo Santa Barbara says he spoke with the governor this afternoon about a bill he's been working on. It would force GPS systems to include warnings for low bridges.
Is there a way to warn, because everybody uses GPS, that may be a way to heighten that awareness? Because I think at this point, a lot of things have been tried.
Of course, around the corner, the commonly hit Glen Ridge Road Bridge has received plenty of attention with sirens and signs. So much so, the town supervisor says those measures have had an unintended consequence here.
Since that laser detection system has been deployed, the majority of the hits, you would agree, have been here now. They've increased here now.
The Department of Transportation tells us they have seen no correlation between those measures and the Maple Ave strikes, but say they will be working with the town of Glenville on additional signage moving forward.
As a driver is approaching a bridge that has restricted height, there are signs warning the driver with ample opportunity to change the route before they get there.
We saw one sign on that side of the bridge warning drivers about the low height, but there's also been calls for infrastructure changes, changing the bridge to conform to the truck traffic. The DOT says that's up to privately owned companies, something the federal government would need to address.
I spoke with Congressman Tonko this morning about that exact issue, and we need to definitely bring our federal leaders into the conversation because it involves train travel and it is a public safety issue.
State lawmakers hope the data they've gathered through legislation will result in funding for changes like this, and that their Bridge Hit Mitigation Task Force will be a step forward, too. So about 24 hours removed from the crash itself. It happened around 6:30 last night. It's just after 6 here tonight. You can see that the truck is still in place here. We saw some tow trucks come in just a few hours ago, but not much movement. We did see a test train move through across the tracks a couple hours ago as these companies continue to see how viable the structure is at this point. They say they're going to continue to assess. The DEC was on hand here as well today, and they say those natural gas tanks have been emptied and there is no threat to the public at this time. One more thing we should touch on, and that's something I spoke to some people about today. There were some individuals hurt in this. The driver, then the crash had happened for first responders that were coming here. They said that's something to remember. We talk about all this legislation, and don't forget what happened in Syracuse back in 2010 when a bus hit a low bridge there and 4 people died. Just kind of showing you how serious this situation is, and they're hoping that and then something like this can be a signal moving forward that change needs to happen soon. Reporting live here from Glenville, Tom Eshin, CBS 6 News.